In the quiet suburb of Fairview, there was a house everyone knew but no one spoke about. It sat at the end of Elm Street, its windows dark, curtains drawn. It wasn't abandoned, lights flickered on at night, and faint movements could be seen inside. But no one ever saw who lived there. Riley, new to the neighborhood and naturally curious, was drawn to the mystery. Her bedroom window faced the house, and on sleepless nights, she found herself staring at it, waiting for something, anything, to happen. One stormy evening, as thunder rattled the glass and rain poured in sheets, Riley noticed a figure in the upstairs window. It was just a shadow, faintly outlined against the dim light inside. It didn't move, but it felt like it was watching her. She shook off the feeling and closed her curtains. "Just my imagination," she muttered. But later that night, when she got up to grab a glass of water, the curtains were open again. Her heart raced. She was certain she'd closed them. When she glanced out, the shadow was still there, only now, it was closer to the glass. The next day, Riley mentioned the house to her neighbor, an elderly woman named Mrs. Carter. The color drained from Mrs. Carter's face. "You've seen it, haven't you?" she whispered. "The shadow. Don't look at it again. It's how it begins." "How what begins?" Riley asked, but Mrs. Carter refused to say more. That night, Riley resolved not to look at the house. She locked her window and drew the curtains tightly. But as she lay in bed, a soft tapping sound echoed through her room. Tap. 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 It was coming from the window. With trembling hands, Riley pulled back the curtain just a crack. Her breath caught in her throat. The shadow wasn't in the window across the street, it was in hers. It stood there, featureless, yet she felt its gaze piercing into her. The tapping grew louder, more insistent. Riley stumbled backward, knocking over her lamp. When she looked back, the shadow was gone. The next morning, she woke up to find black handprints smudged on the outside of her window. But the worst part? The handprints weren't human, they had too many fingers. Riley moved out of Fairview the following week, but the shadow didn't stay behind. It followed her, appearing in windows wherever she went. And now, when the moon is full, she hears the tapping again.